All right, so I'm going to record a little audio because this is an opportunity for me to kind of utilize the time I have between my day job. I have to drive a little bit currently, so I have the new Blue Raspberry mic, which can kind of plug into my phone, and we're going to see how well how good the audio quality is, and if it's even worth doing. So, first off, I wanted to let you know this episode we're kind of just going to talk about the American Open Finals and the experience we had there for my athletes, Anjanette and Marin, as well as how the event was ran itself and what I thought about it. So, the American Open Series, for those that don't know, is hosted by USAW, which is the United States of America Weightlifting Association. It's kind of the representing body for sending athletes to the Olympics and hosting these events and such. So, this year was in Milwaukee. So the series is a kind of a culmination of events. They have the American Open Series throughout the year, and then it comes down to the finals at the end, which is a higher qualifying total. So there's a little less athletes. There's about 600 athletes, I believe. And at the last series event in Vegas, there was over 1,000. So that kind of gives you perspective into kind of what kind of show they're running here. So it's a pretty big event still. There's 3 platforms in the competition venue and a big training hall / warm-up area behind the platforms. So first and foremost, they always do a great job on the venue. We were right downtown in Milwaukee, kind of in this hotel / convention center combo. The only problem or complaint I would have about this one was there was no parking. The hotel didn't have any parking. The parking next to it was expensive, so it almost cost the two days of parking basically cost another night in the hotel equivalency. So it wasn't expensive. It was expensive to park your car if you rented one at the airport, which we did. Looking back, we probably should have just Ubered. But the event was very nice. The location was nice in terms of there was a lot of food around us, bars. There was a lot of options when it came to entertainment outside of the actual weightlifting. Okay, so we had the chance to kind of explore downtown Milwaukee a little bit. The event itself was ran very well, and that's what I think is interesting is kind of with the transition CrossFit's made and people just realizing they do enjoy the sport and the exposure to the sport. There's more and more athletes really getting involved and really, entertaining the idea of competing in Olympic weightlifting. You even have a lot of these high-level CrossFit athletes that are now making the switch over because it's more what they're looking to compete in now. And USAW, even in the time that I've been in the sport, has grown significantly and is putting on much more professional, well-ran events. So I really do applaud them on this last event. It was ran very smoothly. No problems there. They kept on time with the schedule, and really just an overall great event. I had no complaints when it came to how the event was ran. So my first lifter, Marin, this was her first time qualifying for the series. So the finals. She's lifted at the series before, which is a lower total. She's lifted at University Nationals, which is a lower total, and that's college age. And she's also lifted at the under 25. So anybody that's under 25 years old can lift at that national event. And that's typically combined with universities. So you lift in one meet and it counts for both. So this was her first kind of a bigger one. She was in the C session. And 59C, I believe. And it was great. It was kind of an eye-opening event for her. So we opened her up higher than we normally would, like in a local meet, because it's a big time national meet. She kind of wanted to play. She had some numbers in her head that she wanted to achieve and possibly take shots at. So we opened up a little higher, And even just during the warm-ups, it was kind of apparent things were off. She was having a hard time lifting weights that typically were easy in the warm-up area. Luckily, she's the hell of a competitor, so she was able to bring it together and hit some of her attempts. So she did get a total, and it was really only a couple kilos under her best total ever. But it kind of felt like a disappointment of a meet, and she felt, a little unsatisfied with her ability and what she achieved at that meet. But it really was eye-opening for us and kind of opened some doors in the future for us, because it led to a conversation after, which the reason I'm bringing this up is I think it can really help a lot of you athletes out there in a couple of aspects. So in the conversation we brought up, it became very apparent that she was having a hard time managing stress, especially when it came to game day stress. So she had minimal sleep the night before, was up every hour or two, nervous and worried about lifting the next day. So we kind of went over some strategies on what to do, and possibly I encourage her to find things that help her relax and kind of routine she can get into, because the older I get and the more and the longer I'm in the industry and the more kind of stuff I sift through and research I read, it really all comes back, no matter all these supplements, everything you're kind of thinking is going to be the quick fix. Sleep is one of the it is the number one thing regarding performance. So if you are not sleeping, so she only slept a couple hours that night, and actually the previous 2 nights I did some more digging and she had not slept very well at all. So I think over the last 3 nights she had slept 12 hours, which is a very horrible way to enter a competition and be able to compete. So that was one point of interest, and something you all out there listening can focus on, is you may think you're doing everything right, you're taking all these supplements, you're training, you might not be getting the results you want. Maybe look at how much you're sleeping. That's going to be more important than the rest of the stuff you're doing. So it's almost equally as important as your training. So make sure you're sleeping and you're getting the recovery you need. We also talked a little bit about nutrition. She does well on a macro count, but the quality of foods have kind of been on the back burner, and she's been focused more on just hitting numbers, which that can start an argument with a lot of people. But I personally would believe in eating more whole, natural, healthy foods. Meat, a lot of rice, vegetables, kind of getting that whole array of stuff, not just hitting a number with a lot of processed food. So you're going to look at your sleep and you're going to look at your nutrition, which, again, they're not secrets, and there's not a secret when it comes to nutrition. You kind of have to find what works for you. So we kind of nailed that down and figured out, hey, I know you're disappointed with your performance, but here are some actionable things that you can do that will hopefully affect you as soon as your next meet. So as a coach, this is the first time that I really had the wherewithal to kind of break it down after the performance, and it took some maturing for me as a coach. But that was something I'd recommend for you up-and-coming coaches, is instead of shying away from maybe a bad performance because you're afraid it might be your fault, do some digging. And if it is, it always is always nice to get the athlete's opinion. Find some actionable things that you can give your athlete and say, hey, this is what happened. It's happened and it's over. And what can we do to perform better? What can I do as a coach? What can you do better as an athlete? So there's a couple things we took from it, and I think it really not only helps strengthen our athlete-to-coach relationship, but it also put it in a very positive light where she knew there were some things she could fix immediately and hopefully perform better. Well, not hopefully, and I truly believe she will perform better. So that was a growth moment for me as a coach. And then next up we had Anjanette, who quite truthfully we came out really hot and did really, really, really well. And we've had about a 6 to 8 month period of kind of a reset. So I finally realized, hey, we need to take some steps back, work on some stuff, and kind of get you to a position where you can take a big leap, which, as many athletes know that have been there, that having instant success and kind of being very, very successful in the beginning, it kind of makes it hard to take that step back mentally and, be okay with making changes that in the short term are going to negatively affect your overall performance. Maybe not negatively in the light of how you're doing it, but maybe the overall result, especially in weightlifting. So your lower weights you're working on, lifting in a more effective manner that in the future will pay off. But the numbers you're hitting might be a little bit lower for a period amount of time. For a short period or a amount of time. Sorry, I said that wrong. And that's kind of what we were going through. So she's just not had a really, really great breakthrough competition for a while. And back when we first got started 2 or 3 years ago, pretty much every meet she did was a breakthrough. She's still winning every meet she does, basically locally or regionally. But we've got big goals, and like I said earlier, we've got goals of Olympic hopeful and international meets. So the sights are kind of set on a whole different scale now. But for Anjanette, this was a huge meet because there was a total 188 that we needed to hit. And because she had previously applied for being considered for an international position, and that's the total they sent us for her body weight and what she needed to hit to qualify for the upcoming competition in Las Vegas. So it's an international meet, but it is in the United States, which is a great stepping stone for her to attend that, just because of cost and travel expenses and such. So it was kind of a big goal we had to qualify for this. And we knew we had to get some decent numbers. Her best clean and jerk in competition is 105 kilos. So, that's a stretch. So we need to hit some big weights. So she comes out for snatch. She seems very confident in warm-ups, has great warm-ups. She hits 78 and 80 kilos for her first 2 attempts. And for those that aren't aware, you get 3 attempts in weightlifting in each lift. So she hit 80, super easy. And then we went to 82, and something just didn't click. And 82 wasn't even really close. So we missed 82. So we're sitting at a 80 kilos, and that means we need a 108 kilo clean and jerk for those that struggle with the math. So 108 clean and jerk, which is, that's a goal we've had for a while. Actually, 107's been the goal, but 108 is a goal, and a couple of reasons behind that was, first off, it'd be a 3 kilogram PR for Anjanette, lifetime PR. But also the current state record we've been chasing for a long time, held by Kaylin Pepito. For those that know, she's a Utah lifter, and she lifted for Juggernaut for a period of time. I'm unsure if she's still with Juggernaut. So she's a bigger name athlete. She's held that record for a while. So our goal is kind of to knock that out of the water. So the 108 would not only get a state record, it would qualify and be a lifetime PR. It would qualify her for an international meet. So that was a big deal. So we come out on clean and jerk. Nerves are high for sure. We hit 100 really easy. Then we go to 104, and she actually misses. So she cleans it super easy. Pop, gets there, goes for the jerk, kind of overshoots it, and misses it behind. So, and I forgot to mention we're doing push jerks. So this is new. This is our first competition we're doing push jerks. We switched her over from split jerk. I kind of had made that decision, and then Michael Conroy also got to see her about a week after we made that decision and solidified the idea that she might or very well could be better at power jerks based on her anatomy and limb ratio. So ended up the power jerk was the right call. And so we've been working on the power jerks, but again, it's new. It's very new. So it's our first competition displaying the power jerk as our competition lift. So she misses 104 power jerk, and now nerves are very high, and we have quite a long wait because we got to wait till 108. So we decide. I just decide, hey, we're going for 108 because I know she has these goals. She also had expressed she wanted to hit a lot of numbers or hit a high amount of her lift, so she would really like to be consistent and go 6 for 6, 5 for 6. And that 108 doesn't really align with that decision, but I just knew if we walked out of a competition of that scale and didn't really go for it, it could hold us back in what she wants to accomplish. So we load up the 108, and right before she goes out, I look at her and I say, this is literally the biggest lift of your life. And it is. So if she wants to achieve the things she wants to achieve, this is the first stepping stone to people kind of taking note of who she is, as well as giving her opportunities to compete on the international stage. So put 108 on, she goes out, gets a little wild on the clean, but you can tell she's committed. She gets the clean, stands up out of the hole. She got really strong legs, so it's not an issue. And then it's just all down the jerk. So we're all holding our breath. She dips and drives. It's a little out front, but she just nails it. Nails the 108. We're just in surprise. All of us are just like, holy shit, she nailed that. So she nails the 108. We're super pumped. Not only have we beat a state record we've been shooting for, we got a PR total, and boom, she is qualified for international competition. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that she gets to go, but this is prior. I have the knowledge now, but we get back to our respective states, and she gets an email saying you've been invited. So Anjanette has been invited and has accepted her first international competition, which is huge for us, huge for me as a coach, huge for her as a lifter. So anyway, it ended up a great experience. So the American Open was awesome. And if there's anyone out there that's interested in learning about the sport or starting to compete, especially if you're around the Idaho, Utah area, reach out to me, because either I can help you or I can link you up with someone in your area that can help you, especially if you're a CrossFit athlete kind of getting burnt out on that, or, it's just not working out anymore with their new structure and format. But there's a lot of opportunity in the sport, and it's getting ran better and better, and it's getting more professional. And it's a great sport, and I've been committed to it, and I love it. So I wanted to give you guys a recap of what's kind of been going on with our barbell club. It's been awesome. It's growing. The online sector is growing, and there's just more and more interest in the sport, and we love it. So if you guys ever have any questions, I'm always here to help. If you want, to send over a video for me to check out and make sure it's a good fit for you, and make sure you're doing things right, I'm always open for that. I'm always open to answer questions. I appreciate you guys listening today. I'm trying to put out some more stuff. Probably just going to be thoughts like this or short ideas. I've been reading a lot of business entrepreneurship type books, so I want to do some more stuff on that related to the fitness industry. And I appreciate you guys that do take the time to listen to this, and I hope you guys have a great day. And if you need anything, let me know. Reach out. Follow us on Instagram, Hanson Athletics, Facebook, whatever. Pretty much anything Hanson Athletics will pop up something from us. And again, I appreciate all support. Peace out, guys.